Asa Hutchinson spent Friday night on a rodeo in Des Moines and watched the cowboys ride the broncs as they clung to their lives. Hutchinson explains, "You only need to hold the horse with one hand. And therefore you need to keep your other hand up all the time. And you should do this for 8 seconds while he bounces like a bronco madman." One of them decided to protect himself and held it with both hands. During the years of Donald Trump, America may feel like a wild horse trying to throw its rider over it. But Hutchinson still holds onto it with one hand. Last year, he made about 60 trips to 100 cities in Iowa. As part of a long-term proposal for the White House, he launched serious crusade against Trump in a state where the former president had cult-like follower base. But he an advantage over his enemy while Trump has set incredibly high expectations for Monday's Iowa meetings. Hutchinson's performance will not disappoint anyone. NBC News Des Moines Register. The latest survey of Mediacom Iowa survey support at 1. Jonathan Capehart, a server on MSNBC network, admitted on Saturday, "I had forgotten that Asa Hutchinson, former governor of Arkansas, is still in race. If life is hard on the Hill, it can be hard on the bottom." Hutchinson recalls the struggle during his lunch, which consisted of observing chicken and syrup at a restaurant in the snowy downtown Des Moines, to get votes at Iowa party meetings that required people to come in person. Early that morning, he said, "Non-continuous voting is not allowed." Republican presidential candidate Asa Hutchinson is leaving a campaign event in Des Moines, Iowa on January 3. Someone said, "The lady here is ready to support you, but she has a few questions." So I called him and spent 25 minutes answering very detailed questions about how to restrict the growth of the federal government. And I also covered abortion issues like that. And he says he's finally about get in the car to go Florida. "Are you saying you're not going to attend the meeting next week?" He said no too. "But I'll vote for you in November." They no longer make Republicans like Hutchinson. Last year, the Politico website described him as the most normal Republican presidential candidate. He calls himself conservative Ronald Reagan, who was appointed by Reagan as the youngest U.S. lawyer in the country when he was 31. He served in Congress and George W. During Bush era, he was the head of Drug Enforcement Agency. Like Bill Clinton, he served 2 terms as governor of Arkansas. Hutchinson, now 73, launched the White House proposal in his hometown of Bentonville in April, pledging to reform federal law enforcement and understand the best of America. He also called on Trump, who was recently indicted in New York for silent money payments by grand jury, to withdraw from the race, saying office is more important than any other person. "I believe in the traditional conservative principles. And Donald Trump has tried to turn our party into